All right, this is the Illusion reporting from Malibu, California. Summer on Spaceship Earth. I just got this YouTube message from a True Believers trip out of Australia, man. It says, "Hey Hamish, here's a story from here in Australia that just happened. It'd be nice if you spread the message that skateboarders should look after one another." There's a story of the tragic accident of Dakoda Lee, who was rendered quadriplegic and can only communicate with his eyes. The Make-A-Wish Foundation granted him his wish to see his favorite skater skate at his local skate park. Apparently what had happened was that this kid right here was bullied to the point that he attempted to kill himself, man. And that's his mom and his sisters there. And that's Dakoda in the wheelchair, man. And you know, it's interesting. Things come to you because they're part of our dream, man. And you know, when I was young, I was picked on, man. And here, we'll watch the skate video while I talk about this. Because, man, picking on people sucks, dude. When I was young, man, I used to get hassled pretty heavily once upon a time, man. And, it wasn't cool, man. I used to get picked on a fair amount in junior high and stuff on the bus by this group of kids, man. And they made my experience going to school daily kind of lame, man. So I understand what Dakoda must have been going through, man. And it happened through high school. You know, I was my own kind of person, and that led a lot of people to pick on me, man. But, you know, fortunately for me, I was able to use it as a strength, man, and becoming a loner. It made me a loner, but it made me strong at being a loner, man. And so I watch these guys ripping for this kid, man, and I go, man, that's what skateboarding's all about, dude. We look out for our own, man, and unfortunately, Dakoda slipped through the cracks there for a moment and tried to take his own life, man, and that's a tragedy. But with every tragedy, there's a lesson, man, dude, we can't be letting people pick on one another, whether they're skateboarders, not skateboarders, man. As skateboarders, man, we're pretty individual, rough and tumble characters, man. So if we can take the abuse of skateboarding, we definitely can stand up for some kid getting picked on by some bullies, man. I don't know, man. This trips me out because it definitely hits home for me, man. Like I said, as a kid who was picked on, I'm lucky I got through that phase of my life, man. And so I think me personally, that's why I befriend a lot of outcasts. A lot of kids who don't fit in, man. Because I know what it is not to fit in, man. So I guess what I would say, and I'm stoked the guys in Australia sent this to me because this is the real deal about what it is to vibrate at a higher frequency. Is we got to stand up for the underdogs, man. We as beings that have love and compassion and empathy, when we see another individual being unduly harassed, we need to stand up for them, man. We need to throw ourselves between them and the evildoers and make a stand. I mean, I think that's what all around the world's going on, is we have to stand up for ourselves by standing up for the meek. The meek shall inherit the earth, right? And that's what all the spiritual teachers have always been about, is we have to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves, man. And we gotta do this kid Dakoda the honor of standing up for the next kid who's getting picked on, so that he doesn't resort to the same terrible decision Dakoda was forced to, man, to try to take his own life because of just the constant bullying. And yeah, I get it, man. I get it. I had to look these dudes in the eye. All right, man. I guess we're going now. There was this group of dudes. They were all the cool guys in high school, man, and they used to hassle me to death, man. This is like the late 80s. I had the flock of seagull haircut, and I had my own unique clothing styles. I was all new wave, and, you know, they stood out like a sore thumb. But, you know, the chicks dug it, dude. So I used to hang out with all these girls, but all their older brothers, who were like 2 or 3 grades above me, used to make my life fucking miserable at high school, right? I remember getting like lunch trays thrown at me, getting cornered and hassled, and fruit thrown at me, and the whole thing, right? But I stood my ground, man, and I stood my ground through all that shit, and I never backed down, man. And I remember, dude, like 3 years after high school, I went back and I ran into a couple of these guys at some party, dude. And this one dude, I won't even mention his name, but he was sitting at the party and we were smoking a joint or something, and he's like, dude, you're pretty cool, man. I'm sorry for picking on you in high school. I don't know why I hated you, and I don't understand it now why I'm sitting across from you. You're a pretty cool guy. And this is my moment of glory with this character. I looked him square in the eye and I go, you know what, man? I never hated you. I just never understood why you had to hassle me so much, man. But now that we're sitting here, let's move on. Because that's the deal, man. My mom always told me back in the day, when we're young, especially when you're young, we don't want to be cool too quick, man. She always used to tell me, those dudes in high school that think they're cool, man, they're just blowing their wad early, dude. She's like, dude, when you get into college, none of that stuff will mean anything. And when you get later in life, none of that shit will mean anything. And she was right. Because when I met that dude 3 years after high school, his days of being king stud were long gone, and I was just beginning to hit my stride as an individual, as a dude who was firm in his own identity, man. So, but I want to thank the guys in Australia for sending me this clip. And I just want to say, man, if you're bullying somebody, dude, you're just picking on yourself, man. There's no need to bully on someone. In fact, man, if you're a real tough guy, why don't you go extend your hand to that kid you're picking on and apologize for being an asshole. And if you're a dude who's seeing someone getting bullied, take the gnarliest, most courageous effort there ever could be in human experience and stand up for that human being, because, dude, that is the person that you're standing up for, is Dakoda, man. And let's make him proud, man. Let's make his mom and his sisters feel the love we've got. And as skateboarders, man, let's look out for each other, man, because as skateboarders, we're outcasts, man, and that's our identity, dude. So let's not fear it, let's embrace it, and let's protect one another from the dudes who would hassle us and the dudes that would hassle anybody else. This is The Illusion, out. Thank you.